Yo, what's up, everybody? It is your boy CLT here on a nice and peaceful Tuesday night. what a day it was for me, but glad we can get some of these replays going at you. Actually, I think it's just this one. The other games were casted live. We had a little clash of games yesterday, and Nexus was nice enough to cover one of them. Since he is doing Midwest Weekly, I gave him his choice. And since he had not covered Team Solid or um, MM Misfits, he elected to grab that game. I believe he did Caster Curse's games week 2. So, yeah, so I told him and I told the captains here that I'd cover this game today, and that is what I'm here to do. I got a little bit of a late start, to be perfectly honest. Work just murdered me today, so we're gonna try and hold it together and get this done for you guys. Yeah, yeah. It was you. I there's been some discussion about Monday games overall in general, but you guys communicated this full weeks in advance, so I was super happy at that. And when the other team asked for Monday, I wasn't 100% aware that it was going to be in the same time slot, so it is a little bit of a feels bad moment. But again, this is the first replay that we've had to cover in 3 weeks, and that's 12 series. So, Pins, get the hell over it. But nice to see a lot of you guys that played in the series here in chat already. I see Astro, I see Pins, War, you can go. Um, and, yeah. So, we're going to give it just another few minutes. Here in about 4 minutes, I'm going to run another ad, and hopefully that will make it to where there won't be an ad during game one, because game one was quite lengthy, is what I'm being told here. So, CBT. Number love for you, Astral. So, um, this is a week 3 matchup between Bop It Twisted Gankit, who is right now the only undefeated team here, and Caster Cursed, which is a team I believe we put third in the power rankings here. So, based on the power rankings, we have number 1 versus number 3 here, and I expect this to be a very competitive matchup, but a very bloody matchup. As, I've spent some time with some of the Caster Curse guys. They're not afraid to fight, and seeing Bop It, Twist It from last split and this split, they are not afraid to stand their ground either. So this is going to be a pretty exciting series to cover here. So let me make sure. So I'm going to go over here to the draft. So looking at Bop It, Twist It, definitely a deny pick on the Karma here. Caster Curse, though, getting one of Necrosis' favorite champions here in the Casio, and then a nice Milio pick here. Yeah. I think all the supports here, for the most part, do play the Karma, and it's honestly just a really, really solid champion in general. Kind of brings a little bit of everything to the table. So I can't complain there. But we see the Milio come out. Bop It Twisted, though, picking a very strong mid laner in Syndra. Syndra is kind of not only a skill matchup in the Casio, but if Casio missteps at all in the early laning phase, Syndra can kind of take off and start to scale quicker than her. Uh, so overall, a really nice, not only like a scaling handshake But Syndra can definitely make stuff happen and spike a little earlier, especially her 1 to 2 item spikes on the pen items. Laney Flays. Bro, give me a break here, man. I'm trying. So we see the Zeri coming out here. So Zeri Karma, not necessarily like what I would consider to be the greatest duo lane here. Karma's definitely known for her in the game poke and pressure here, and Zeri just does like the coast in the laning phase. Has really decent wave clear, um, but can get dove easily early until she gets a few items on her, and then she can really start to stack the movement speed. Her level 6 is pretty strong, I will give her that. But Castercur's bringing out the Kog'Maw. I believe they are the only team that has played Kog'Maw, and this will be now the second time that they have played it here. So, bans look pretty normal for the most part. I think Honda Crasher, he did sub in at jungle, and he is a Shaco player, so that explains the Shaco ban. The Echo, the Trundle, we've seen one-handed go absolutely nuts on the Trundle here, so definitely wanted to get that away. But Caster Curse ends up getting the Sejuani here. Again, nice, really just solid overall jungler. You had decent setup, decent engage. Pretty tanky for the most part. So no complaints there. You see the Volley Bear and the Gnar, so pretty self-explanatory where theirs are going. Gnar just a pretty standard, just neutral laner, top lane as well. And Caster Kirsten picking the set, which has been one of One-Handed Gaming's kind of favorite champions here. He's played it, I think, a few times now in the league, so another kind of unique pick to Caster Curse, because I think they are the only ones that brought out the set as well. So one-handed showing he has a pretty unique top lane champion pool compared to the rest, but we'll see how that goes. Alright, let's download the replay here and get this going. Go ahead and mute the music. It sounds like we're already loaded into the game. New PC, OP, let's go. Time controls, I am going to pause it for a quick second. Let me just tab out real quick, because I want to see what the chat is saying about this, especially since we got some people who played in this game. No spoilers, please. Though the time control does kind of give some of it away, but not all of it. Runes look pretty standard. I'm not a great big lover of the First Strike, but there's still some First Strike Syndra players out there. Conquer, Aftershock, Lethal Tempo. The barrier on Cassio is quite interesting. If you are super aggressive on her, I can see the barrier, but to me, when you're bringing Tear of the Goddess, you're kind of just wanting to just play a neutral handshake lane and start the scaling early, so I think TP is a lot more useful at keeping your tempo there. So, but into this comp, if you're wanting to go something defensive, I think that can also double as offensive. I think Ghost is really useful here. Trying to get away from kite back on Zeri, you're running away from Gnar and Volibear, who have limited engages. Or if Set gets a really good ult and gets too far forward, you can Ghost into their team comp as well. So, I'm not a great big fan of the barrier here, but we'll see. We'll see. We've seen some unique rune choices coming out here, so. Oh, nice trade already from One-Handed Gaming here, going with the Conquer. Karma missing the first empowered Q. I think that really sets the tempo for her lane. If she whiffs the first one, then you're feeling really good. Croesus, though, getting the level 2 and fighting back and really getting a solid trade there on the Christmas here. Christmas being kind of the standout player for this team through the first 2 weeks. And this is actually a brand new pick for Christmas, if I'm not mistaken. He's been a Mel merchant as well as a few others. Scrublord getting the level 3 here. Being able to trade back. Bot lanes are, for the most part, even. So, judging from how scaling the bot and the mid lane picks are, if we're going to see any real combat, I would assume it would be around the top side area of the map here. Especially post level 6, that's when Syndra will start to play it. But as I say this, One Trick Susan deciding to go forward into a Milio Kog'Maw, which is very dangerous. Scrublord getting a really bad end of a trade there on the one-handed. He's definitely playing his set very well. So, maybe Havoc will enjoy checking this out, as he is a set enjoyer as well from the Sweat League. But we do see Volibear here in the mid lane. He is on a ward, I believe. Yeah, so the ward hadn't expired yet. So really nice vision there from Croesus. We will periodically be checking in on the Syndra stacking here. 18 stacks, so Throttle getting in a empowered Q onto Bird. Ah, there's even a poke there from One Trick, so nice stun overall here from One-Handed again. Definitely looks like he feels very comfortable in this matchup. Christmas, though, getting some first strike stacks and a stack on the passive there. If there's one thing you can definitely do against Syndra's is not letting her proc the passive stack. That way she runs out of mana a little bit earlier. Because the mana refund on her passive is kind of insane. Oh, but we see a trade here in the bot lane as the Milio Kog'Maw lane now starting to fight back. So the Milio Campfire plus the Kog'Maw range on W means he can auto from so far away. Oh, Gnar with the jump getting interrupted here, and One-Handed with the level 6 and gets the first blood solo kill here in the top lane. So Set drawing first blood on the map here. Well played by One-Handed. He also gets a plate for his effort as well. Again, a little bit of a trade coming out. Penn's up here with the roam to try and help out. Christmas taking a really, really bad end of this trade here. We're just going to ignore this ult here. Interesting. Maybe wanted it for wave clear. Maybe misclicked it. There's a chance it could have been a flash ult, and he just didn't press the flash in time. Honda Crasher getting jumped on here. Poison will not be enough But they forced the flash out of Honda here. I think that gives you enough tempo there to start the dragon potentially here. Um, especially if Croesus kept pressure there on Christmas. So, Gnar coming out here just to try and push one-handed. And the minions closer to the turret. But one-handed does have the Tiamat here, so very hard for him to freeze a lane now. Pen's taking a little bit of poke there. Oh, so Croesus fat-fingered the R in lane. You know what? Up until you said that, I was gonna believe it was a flash R attempt. And you just forgot the flash. Just trying to save you there, bud. But yeah, big cooldown though. Did see Christmas though push this wave in and generate a touch of a CS lead there. For the most part, everywhere around is even though. So be curious to see when this game kind of breaks open. Gold is even including the first blood up top. We do see Caster Curse making a play onto these grubs here, which I think is pretty massive. From what I've seen out of Caster Curse and one-handed specifically, is he definitely loves to split and create a lot of pressure in the side lane. So these grubs are very useful there. Though Boppet doing a great job at responding when they see the grubs go down, Honda went immediately towards this dragon. Christmas putting in quite a bit of damage there on the Croesus. Oh, and it is an Ocean Drake first. Okay. That is a very annoying first Drake. Though it's a little bit later into the lane. If that becomes the first Drake and you pick it up like super early. Oh, but we see the Croesus potentially falling. There's where that barrier comes in handy there. So we do see the bot lane of Caster Curse putting a lot more pressure here. I'm seeing, looks like the beginning of a Blade of the Rune King coming out of Kog'Maw here. Flash for flash here in the mid lane. You flashed here on Christmas. Now I think this is a window where you attack it if you're Etrium. That is a big cooldown taken. And you have a really, really simple ult. So we do see Seraphs getting picked up here by Croesus. Not fully charged though, but working its way there. Charges up much quicker after you buy the completed item here. Croesus though, also without flash, means that Honda Crasher can come in and take this. We'd love to see it go over to Syndra, but Volibear also is a pretty snowbally champion. I love the fact that we're not seeing an AP start on the Volibear. I think when you're playing Volibear in the jungle, it just comes on time too late. Oh, Bird, though, getting jumped on here from the bot lane as he was way forward. Pops the barrier here, does take down One Trick Susan. Does have the Vamp Scepter, so doing quite well. Throttle, though, getting an empowered ability there. And flashes away, but did not flash away late enough. And Bird ends up getting 2 there. And a double kill onto this Kog'Maw. Completed Blade of the Rune King. One Trick, though, does complete the Yuntal there. Off this back. So item for item, not terrible. Oh, my bad. Ads here. We will pause it here during the ads. I'm seeing ads in chat here. Yeah, we're still getting used to it being monetized. So let me know when we come back from ads and we will undo the pause. I can go back a few seconds if you guys would like as well. So just give me a thumbs up when the ads are done. There should only be 1 minute ads, but I can then probably rewind here. We'll just go ahead and jump back to 15 seconds here. We're good now. All right, fantastic. We're still getting used to the monetization there. I'm super happy that we've grown this enough that we were able to do it. So, with a replay in mind, we can definitely hold off on that. From what I'm seeing, we should not have ads for another 40 minutes. So that should be enough to finish this game. Honda Crasher, though, diving in. Oh, Lord. Let's see how this one got set up. Because while I was sitting here rambling about the ads. Okay, so it was an invade that they jumped on Honda there. But a big stun by Christmas. Croesus' ult has very little value. And Honda ends up getting out. The combination of the stun from Syndra and Honda Crasher's ult had so much value here. Pens, though, was rotating up. Not sure if they could have waited for Pens or if one-handed could have moved from top lane, but big 2v2 fight from the mid-jungle of Bop It. Now Honda's on his completed Sundered Sky. We do see that Etrium now has a completed Sunfire Cape. I'm not a great big fan of Sunfire Cape. I don't think the completed item is that useful. Balmy Cinders is great in the jungle for clearing, but completing it I don't think is great. And with that 2v2 and Luden's getting completed, Christmas is now able to put in a lot of work with this Luden's Companion here. We do see, though, that Croesus completed the full Saris Embrace now, so we'll have a shield on top of the barrier. So, I think with all of this damage being thrown and not really having too much of a dedicated front line, your front line is set Sejuani, so it's not the biggest front line in the world. I think Roa could have been really solid here for the Cassio. Because if anything, Roa Saris means you're pretty much almost guaranteed to not get one shot. Throttle moving up, though, but Honda's here in the back. Throttle does end up falling. Bird ends up going after One Trick Susan. Christmas did TP down here as well, and Bird's going to get himself another one. Pens kicks back Christmas here, but this soccer boy is not long for this world here. Croesus could come down. Oh, Q is back up much quicker than I thought it would be. But never mind, Pens gets out of that one. Well played, though, by the bot lane of Caster Curse, specifically Bird there. Knowing that Honda's behind him, he's just going to keep going forward and trying to output as much DPS as he can. So, 4 kills early on this Kog'Maw. Right as plates dropped. It's a pretty accelerated Void Puppy. Scrub Lord, though, now starting to even out these trades a little bit, able to kite away. As Gnar picks up levels, he does get a little bit of attack range, I believe. So, oh, nice flash here by Croesus. Barrier comes out. Seraph Shield comes out. Limping away here. And ends up escaping. Christmas, though, flashing in that exchange. But Etrium's ult does go to the wayside. If that ult hits, I definitely believe Christmas falls there. Kog'Maw definitely starting to push around Zeri here. One-handed slowly chipping away at this turret here. But looks like it's getting evened out. Feats of Strength has not been taken yet. Oh, nice combo there from One-handed, getting rid of the ward. We do see Honda Crasher starting up the dragon here, so that'll be second dragon. But we see Etrium starting up Rift Herald as well. Rift Herald definitely not only going to be a stack towards Feats of Strength, but can get the first turret. And I believe combat feats. Oh! Big one shot coming out of Christmas there with Honda Crasher coming in just to finish off the last hit. Oh, but now we have an all-in here. See how the bot lane of Caster Chris wants to play this. Nice cleanse coming out of Pins with the ult, but it looks like he's going to fall potentially here. No, Shields himself isn't able to dodge here. Bird's trying his best here. But Christmas does end up coming down. Rift Herald dropped top lane. So first turret goes over to the side of Caster Curse. One-handed did TP bot lane for that engage as well. So now we are up to just objectives here, which they are tied at 2 apiece on the objectives. Actually, no, my apologies. That's right, Caster Curse got the first 3 kills, so that is full Feats of Strength over to them. Something I don't think we've seen all split is actually Boppet losing Feats of Strength in a game. I think they've picked it up every single game. I could be mistaken on that. Scrub Lord Ozai getting jumped on here. See, they do give it over to Bird. Croesus, though, trying to fight back in this bot side here, and almost takes down one trick Susan, but does not. And that's an 0-4 start on Cassio here. They're picking on Croesus quite heavily this game. Sorry about that. So, looking at this overall right now, we do have Kimtech Drake coming up here in 2 minutes. 9 kills to 6. A little small 2,000 gold lead coming out of Boppet. Caster Curse does have Feats of Strength completed though. 2 items now on Bird. He is in prime position to carry this game, and I do remember the last time he had Kog'Maw. He did his best to try and carry, but it did come to a loss here. So we're going to see how this one goes. I love the first 2 item spikes here from Kog'Maw. I just think he's just super underrated. We see kind of the pseudo-nemesis build coming out of Christmas here with the... I can't remember the name of the item. The Cosmic Drive. New service. So Cosmic Drive coming out of Syndra. So going after that. Looks like Croesus is... Okay, not going to get picked on again. Here. Looks like he's trying to complete himself a Leandry's Torment there. Throttle getting taken away. I could have seen a world where one-handed went behind him and got the ult back. Croesus, though, getting the Seraph Shield popped here to save him from Christmas. So Christmas going the with him going the CDR option second means he hasn't really capitalized on a lot of the damage yet. If he went, say, Storm Surge or Shadow Flame, I think he does commit to the one shot there. We do see full Thornmail coming out of Eltrium. That is an interesting pickup. The Bramble Vest is all you really needed against the Volibear. And note that it's not really an Enchanter Karma, at least not at this point with the Malignant second. Bird hitting mid-turret, but looks like Castercurse is trying to posture for here. Bird and Christmas in the mid lane, so this is going to be a little bit of a 4v. Yeah, it's going to be a full v4 here. Oh, and Eltrium steals Casper here, but the fight looks like it's going to go to Bop It here. Double kill to Scrub Lord Ozai. Christmas coming down here to stun one-handed. So big take for the Otacon here, but the impending fight means Bop It's going to be here on Soul Point at 22 minutes. So has a really solid pace here for Dragon. Christmas also getting this red turret here, so a lot of value for Castercurse getting the Otacon, but definitely some gold and value in return coming out of Bop It here. See, Boots getting completed from Etrium. He's full armor now. I want to see him get like a kinetic Ruker in second, because he definitely needs the front line against the Syndra quite heavily. And let this Kog'Maw front to back a lot more. So right now you have two hyper carries on the map with Zeri and Kog'Maw, and they want the front to back. So you got to make sure that your front line is just bigger than the opposing's. And with Sejuani being like the only true tank on the map, itemizing is key to making sure that you're staying alive. We see one-handed going after the Overlord's Blood Mail. It's going to be really useful post-ult, and the W is going to be absolutely freaking disgusting. But he has no resistances here, so he's still going to be open to get one shot here by Zeri Syndra. We see Honda flashing in here. Crosus, though, gets off a decent ult, backed up by the Sejuani ult, but Crosus just so behind on items here. If he was even state, I think he definitely gets Christmas there. One trick comes up, and with the gliding W, takes off Etrium. Scrub Lord Ozai, though, TPing to try and save this mid-turret. I think he can delay it for a little bit here, but at some point, Bird is going to take it. But with him TPing mid, one-handed now gets even more gold into him in the bot lane here. So a majority of the gold for Castercurse going on to Big Six, Bird, and one-handed gaming here. But one-handed still not too far ahead from Scrub Lord. Actually, they're almost dead even here. We do see that One Trick Susan is now ahead in gold here. So, you know, it starts to come down to, you know, the difference in mid lane here. Let's look at that one more time. 6,810. Oh, my lord. Almost a 4,000 gold difference between the mid laners here. The good news is it's not a true 4,000 gold lead just because Cassio does get value from not having boots here. She is tied on AP items, though now down a needlessly large rod. But the boots do not play that big of a role. She's already has basically upgraded boots and then some with the feats of strength. Ooh, big poke coming out here from Throttle. Went Malignant, and now it looks like he's going more of the supportive route. Rune and Hurricane completed by one trick, so he can start the match Some of the wave clear here. Fully upgraded brutes coming out of Etrium here, so can definitely frontline versus area quite heavily. Let's see, Christmas free hitting top lane here. Dragon up for another 20 seconds, so Caster Curse definitely wanting to put a line in the sand of we're challenging you guys for this dragon. We have the early setup. You got to come into us, which Kog'Maw is perfectly okay with. One-handed though, does go top lane, gets the stun on the Christmas music there. Oh, but we got a fight here in the bot lane. Nice grounded field coming out. Honda Crasher gonna fall here. Bird putting out all the damage he can. Susan's here on the side, going after Pens, dies in there and gets shut down. One-handed did take out Christmas music up top and then TP to the rest of this fight. That's 2 shutdowns going over to this set here. And what a team fight. What a line in the sand there. The draw if you're Caster Curse. This is exactly what this team comp wants to do though. Especially in that pocket that they fought in. I think it's really clutch there. Those 3 assists, while only assist, definitely helps Croesus kind of just claw his way back. Runin's Hurricane now done. Buys Bird here. So both ADs now on 3 items. We see the chainmail vest coming out here. So going Jack Show 4th on this Kog'Maw. Upgraded boots as well. This Kog'Maw is massive. So, let's see what happens here. Pins, though, taking a little bit of a high there from Thwartle. And, oh, ads. Let me know when we're done with the ads, and we will take a step back here. Minute left. Alright, we will just we'll stay here and chill here until ads are done. Again, we just recently got monetized, so we're trying to just work around that, tweak some settings and some stuff here. Yeah, I'm just happy we got it taken care of, so. Alright, I'm seeing ads are over. Fantastic. We did go 15 seconds back here. Remove our pseudo spoilers and time control. And here we go. Sweet. I appreciate you guys in chat letting me know. I'm seeing we shouldn't have ads for now another 50-ish minutes, but I feel like that's not accurate. So We will figure it out as we go. So, taking a little bit of a snapshot. Oh, this feels bad. Oh my lord. Barrier plus Seraph Shield, and you still almost get one shot. And you're sitting on a large belt. Ooh. But here's the bear. That's a fast bear, but Caster Curse could pull the trigger on this Baron here. One-handed's going to have to put in a lot of work kind of zoning out, because you cannot let this bot lane take free damage while also dealing with this Baron here. And it looks like Boppet did a really nice job. They do have they have a deceiving amount of poke. And now with 5 here and Croesus at mid, this is now 4v5. We could see Boppet potentially pull the trigger on a Baron attempt here. We do see One-Handed completed his 3rd item. The Sterix Gauge is a pretty massive pickup here. Considering how Boppet's team comp is consisted of. We see a 4th item, Crit Bloom, coming out of Christmas. I really think it doesn't have the most amount of value here, just because there's not that much MR, but you're so far ahead that eventually you're going to buy it anyway. So I don't disagree with that. Riley's Crystal Scepter done for Croesus, so he's going to be able to plant the line in the sand even better with that miasma laying down and slowing. Bird probably selling D-Blade here to complete his Jack Show. He's sitting on 1,200 gold, so he still has a little ways for that. So I would expect Christmas to definitely have, full passive stacks. It's fine there. So Pen sitting on a 2nd item here, which is a really nice pickup of the Ardent Sensor. Set loves it, and Kog'Maw obviously loves it as well. We do see our first little bit of MR coming out of Etrium and the Unending Despair. I still like Kinetic Rukerin a little bit more, but your verse only 2 melee, so you don't get the greatest amount of value out of Unending. But we see Volibear kind of now taxing into the movement speed. A one-handed jumping on the Christmas here. Pens and Croesus in the area as well. Pens' Q goes wide, but slow coming out of Christmas. And one-handed ends up dunking him to take him away. We do see one-handed getting jumped on by Ozai, trying to save One Trick Susan here. And we see Caster Curse pulling the trigger on these picks. And with Dragon up in 13 seconds, now we see them on their 2nd Dragon. So well played by Caster Curse. That's twice in a row now that they've been to the setup first. And their team comp really does well at drawing the line in the sand. So it's back-to-back Chemtech Drakes for them. And 2 pretty big picks on the Christmas here. He got picked off in the top lane, losing the 1v1 against Set, but then got picked off walking into Set here in the bot side jungle area. We haven't really seen a team yet push Boppet like to the distance yet. They've always had like solid early games and then found ways of like snowballing off of that. But Caster Curse drafting a team comp that Boppet doesn't really want to run into. And they're playing this type of comp really well. I've noticed that One-Handed is definitely a lot more grouped up with the team compared to some of the games past. Granted, he's on Set, so he has to be there in team fight and frontline for his team, but we've seen him time and time again on like Trundles. and other picks where he's still the frontline option, but he's selecting the split push more. Oh, nice steal from Croesus there. Now, one-handed now pressuring the bot side as he usually does, but has TP here. You see Zeri backed here. They didn't have vision on her backing, which is unfortunate. Bird backing now with 2,700, so this is going to be a full Jack show done for this Kog'Maw. Penn's really doing a solid job on the vision score as well. 95 here at 30 minutes. Christmas, though, having to deal with one-handed's push. Both of them are on TP here. So outside of mid lane, we're pretty much evened up on items. Never mind, one-handed now completes the Hull Breaker here, so... Oh, and he ends up buying a Elixir of Iron as well. Wait. Oh, yeah, caster props there. Elixir of Iron being just a big boost of tank stats for a few minutes. Let's see what happens here. Do you like the Seeker's Arm Guard coming out from Christmas here? Blue Buff Steel coming out of Honda here. That's a pretty decent blow, as Croesus is going to chew through a lot of mana being still behind. Yeah, if you're dealing with a mage who's behind that does a lot of like prolonged fighting, Anivia, Cassio, Aesol, stealing their blue buff can be just as big of a hit to them. Let's see what Boppet wants to do here, because we are at less than a minute with this dragon, and Caster Curse again. You see they have wards all around this dragon pit and kind of in the bot side jungle, but we do see them starting up this Baron. They do this pretty quickly though. Penn's here. Croesus does not have TP. One-handed, getting a decent stun off. This W, oh my lord! What a W from one-handed. And Bird is now going to clean up the rest of this fight. Baron aggro was not dropped. Woohoo! One Punch Man in the building after that fat W. They get the Baron. I'm sorry. We're just... Good lord. This might be one of the best set W's I've ever seen. Nice setup. Gets the stun in. And once he gets out of stun... Oh, he just one-shots Christmas there with a W. Oh, lord. Christmas was not expecting that. Oh, buddy. Pens, give that guy a raise. Now, I don't necessarily agree with this dragon here. I think this is a full end angle if Caster Curse like fully commits to it. Yeah, I know you definitely. I mean, you get yourself on Soul Point, which is really nice. Don't get me wrong, but I think you send Etrium there, and then you just four-man the push. there to try and end the game. Or you just send all 5 there. Like, I'm not a big fan of this dragon take here. Especially I believe both carries were down, both Christmas and One Trick. So there's not really any returning damage. Even if One Trick is still up, you have a 4-item, 5 if you count upgraded boots, armored up Sejuani. Like, this... I mean, this Zeri's still going to have a really hard time getting through it with just a couple of autos. He's going to be chopping away at it. Yeah. Maybe that's something they're going to look back at this and kind of feel bad about. But one-handed getting jumped on here by Honda. Now it looks like we are having a potential 4-man topside. I think you 401. Mid's going to permanently push here. And I think you just start attacking the side lanes here. Bot lane is 50-50 on the minion push. They have a respectable amount of wave clear. But you just keep forcing them around the map and trying to pick them off. You do have an okay-ish pick comp going. Also, Trailblazer picked up. That is not an item I see that often, but okay. Deathcat picked up from Croesus, so he's definitely starting to scale over time here. In here, Vigilant Wardstone actually picked up by Pins. Or sorry, Watchful. Okay. Not something you see that often. Full-blown Terminus picked up by Cogmaw here. So now Cogmaw is at full 6 items here. Zeri's still working on that 5th. Oh, Lord. Honda chopped down there in a couple of autos. One-handed, though, getting a decent push here. Oh! A fat auto on the turret. I'm just not a big fan of helping the super minions. I think you need to threaten another turret or inhib. Etrium, though, coming down. See if they get this picked up on One Trick, or I'm sorry, on Scrub Lord. Croesus, though, does not have ult. TP coming in from one-handed from behind. See if Etrium can delay long enough. Pins is behind, helping him out. One-handed, forcing Honda the flash here. Oh, nice drift here by One Trick. He's now 1v1 here. Pins getting chopped over. Bird getting chopped up. And this is a massive, massive throw of pressure here from Caster Curse into Bop It. And there's a boatload of shutdowns. They did end up picking off One Trick, but that's a 4-for-1 here. Brought this gold lead close to even now. There's about a 600 gold difference. Still in favor of Caster Curse here, but Warmog's getting picked up by one-handed. I would have loved him to see at some point completing these MR boots instead of going the extra health here, just because he's been periodically matched up against Christmas. This is the first time in a while for this game that now we see Bop It have the setup and the control going into this, what's going to be Soul Dragon for both. And it looks like they're going to pick this up. as it is impossible for Etrium to walk in here. So after stalling it out for 3 dragons, Bobbit finally gets the Chemtech soul here. And what is a pretty massive soul. Oh, I'm seeing ads in the chat again. Yeah, Astral. We're we're gonna look at that setting probably after this cast here. Again, it's just something that we talked about, and then our good old friend Havoc over there in the mod team enabled it, and now I have to do a little bit of searching on the settings and everything on how they work. So we're still learning as we go here, but just let me know when we are back. And I've already went back 15 seconds here. We're good now. I appreciate you guys in chat.
I am the storm.
Yeah, they're definitely not. We'll figure it out. So, DC Caster is starting up this Baron here. Honda does not have ult back up yet. They forced it out. Throttle getting jumped on by Croesus. He's kind of doing... He's holding the line here. One-handed's holding the line here in this bottom area. Honda getting stunned. Now they're going after Honda here to try and force him out so he doesn't steal. Baron on the other side, though. Big takedown here on the pins. Croesus also going to get taken down. One-handed here, trying to 1v3. Triple kill coming out of Christmas here. Oh, and one-handed also trying to carry this fight. Oh, and he tried to flash the wall, but wasn't close enough to it. So it ends up being a 4 for 2 here on this Baron fight. So, and what appears to be the longest Baron take ever, by the way, from Bop It. They do secure it after winning a team fight against Caster Curse. Oh, and Croesus might get picked on here, but doesn't. And Bird puts a lot of return damage back on the Honda Crusher here. Gotta respect this Void Puppy right now. Bird putting up the kind of the wall here, wave clearing these super minions quite heavily. That's Dance now getting bought by one-handed instead of the upgraded boots. I'm honestly not a fan. I think the upgraded boots, especially the tank ones, are pretty useful. I think they're all actually like quite useful. So, especially if you're in a champion that has movement speed towards them and wants to get in range for these slows, I definitely think selling the boots here on set might come back to bite him. Croesus with a really solid ult here. Level 18 though, this turret is taken off for 4 seconds and just not enough damage coming out of Croesus here. We do see that there was a Spirit Visage and quite a bit. There's 2 Chemtech Drakes. So the shielding coming out of Honda Crasher was quite enormous. Pins though, getting almost one shot here from Christmas. Bird now back here, one-handed, getting kited here by Scrub Lord. We'll see. Oh, but ends up taking him out. Dunks him during his jump. Bird almost one shot here from Christmas. One-handed now in a thing where he cannot TP just because it's going to get stopped by Scrub Lord here. And this could be the end of the game. One-handed, though, does get a TP off, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And Bird not able to defend here as Bop It using the Baron to push bot lane, force a team fight, and ends up getting the 48-minute victory. So, Bop It, it's game 1 here in a very, very lengthy 50-minute banger. Looking at the gold graph, boy, this was Bop It favored by 6,000 and then ended up swinging 11 minutes later to 4,000 for Caster Curse and back. So these teams very, very competitive amongst themselves and really, really strong here. So let's go over to the draft. Let me pull it up real quick. And yes, I believe this is the Game 2 draft. Yeah, this is Game 2 here. So Bop It Twisted going with the Sivir here. So we sense a theme a little bit from their bot lane. The One Trick definitely likes playing these scaling crit-based marksmen here. And Caster Curse then deciding, you know what, we're going to go all in on the bot lane aggression as well here with a Lucian Nami. We've seen them play this before. And this, I don't think it's far out to say that this is probably the most aggressive bot lane in the league. And they definitely play to win lane quite heavily here. The Lucian Nami being like a prime example of that. We do see Bop It, though, respond with the Alistar Pantheon. And then the Trundle coming out here for Caster Curse. So one-handed getting his patented Trundle that we've been seeing. We do see a bunch of mid lane bands coming out here with the Echo, Nico, Ari, Aurora, and Mel. So Christmas ends up having to pick this way up. Caster Curse, I think Um, okay, so that was an Ivern taking here in this R4 pick. So again, a really solid comp drafted around their 80 carry bird. Lucian definitely loves the shields and everything in between. And then Bobbit Twisted respond with Hue, Cassante. So a lot of wave clear coming out of this Bobbit lineup, and Cassante being this big beefy tank. Quite interesting that they picked a tank into Trundle. I thought there was a world where they could have flexed maybe the Pantheon top lane and do like quick trades into this Trundle here. I'm not 100% sure how that matchup goes. But then Caster Curse taking the Oriana, which is another very interesting pick. As kind of a Hue merchant and an Oriana player myself, I like the Hue side of that matchup. If you can play the early lane poke phase quite well, but we will see how this goes. Let's go ahead and download this replay. And while we are loading in the game, I can force run an ad. So let's go ahead and do that. Yep. Let me know when we are back. Let me know when we are back here. Thank you, Astral. Much love again for the chat, kind of helping me out through these ads.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. "30 seconds until minions spawn." Minions have spawned.
One thing to note, Scrublord bringing the no flash on Cassante here. Quite interesting tier start from Oriana here. I feel like Seraphs on Oriana is kind of a bait. But we see a trade here in the bot lane. I'll get into that here in just a second. So, tier on Oriana, Seraph's Embrace. I feel like, again, looking at the comp, looking at the kind of the setup and what you want to do here, your goal is to help supplement damage for Lucian, and also you're into a poke champ, which can basically proc the Seraph shield, but then after that, he's waiting on cooldowns. Oh, Bird going very aggressive on the one trick here, so I love what I'm seeing out of this bot lane so far. Cross is playing his lane very well. Is down a pot though, which is natural when you're against the poke champ. One-handed though, level 4, going after Scrub Lord here. Has the lethal tempo going. We do see Honda Crasher though. Oh, nice flash over. Bird having to get out, and bunch of sums burned here. Excuse me, to get first blood onto One Trick Susan there. So nice gank here, knowing that the caster curse bot lane is going to want to keep the pressure on and play aggressive. Nice bubble by Pens here. We've seen a change of heart. Honda had the cooldown boots, but went Swifties here. So, gotta go fast. Yeah, Crosus, again, playing this lane quite well. I feel like Christmas has the ability to not only poke out a little bit more, but potentially like freeze it onto Orianna. But Ori kind of doesn't care about the artillery mages and poke mages until, you know, after a back or two. Etrium, though, getting jumped on. There's the fear, and Christmas ends up picking up one here. So the jungler, Honda Crasher, coming in. Oh, and now jumping on the Crosus. Nice fear overall from Christmas there. See, then the spear does hit. So Feats of Warfare going over to bop it as Honda gets off 3 successful ganks, you know, in the first 5.5. He's definitely setting the tone here for this game too. We're good. Appreciate it again. Much love, guys. I will make it a point to fix these before the week 4 games. It may not be tonight, since your first game was 50 freaking minutes long. Now we see pressure again coming down for the bot lane. Nice bubble coming out of Pins here. Bird trying to defend his support. I do love Etrium being bot lane now, knowing that this is kind of what they drafted the playthrough. You know, he's got to protect it. Triple cloth armor coming out of Kazanta here. His first back. Very interesting that... Oh, wait, what? Nice pillar. Scrublord having to burn the ghost there. Nice trade coming out of Croesus. Nice ult overall. Root coming out here. Christmas spamming the ult. Well played from both sides, forcing the flash out of Christmas music here. But Christmas definitely playing that as well as he could. Alright, I am back here. Sorry about that. So, Feats of Warfare taken over by Bop It here. They're up just a little under 2,000 gold, about 1,500 to be exact here. We do see that Croesus definitely playing not only the lane, but absorbing a lot of the pressure early compared to last game, though. One-handed on his Trundle here, pushing around Scrublord here. Oh, nice overall. And one-handed just ends up beating the shit out of Scrublord there with that big ice pillar. Again, this is something we've seen one-handed do before on this Trundle. He's the only guy playing it, and it just seems like there's nothing that's going to be able to stop him. Alex, what's up? Souls, how you been, bro? This is game 2. I forgot to post it in the Rec League chat until now. So, game 1 was taken by Bop It. So, seeing how this game 2 goes. Fumbling, yeah, I know. It's been a long day for me, bro. You know what? You can do this next time. Bird potentially getting dove here, but Pens ends up showing back up. Bird is low on mana, so we shouldn't see an all-in. I'm loving the full Sork shoes built by Croesus here in this matchup. Honda the Crasher does get the dragon here, which is a Mountain Drake. Etrium being an absolute annoyance up here to Scrublord. A little bit of poke coming out of Christmas here, but so far a very, I would almost say a peaceful early game compared to some of the other games. Ziver's at this point where she's now able to trade back with a little more oomph and has a decent enough wave clear. So I would venture to say that this Nami Lucian lane has not been able to create the advantages that they wanted to create. Part of that being on point with Honda Crasher, giving a lot of attention down to the Silver Alistar lane. do see Grubs though going over to Caster Curse, and which I think really benefits one-handed quite well. Oh, ult coming out here. Nice play from Croesus overall here. You know, forcing Honda forcing the flash out, but a nice shockwave, keeping him in the turret range to think about continuing that gank. Slander. Ain't no slander. Oh, flash headbutt pulverize coming out of throttle here. Big bubble coming out, and a re-engage here by Pens. Exhaust coming out. One Trick Susan absorbing a lot of the Lucian ult here. But One Trick ends up spamming the Sivir ult to get away here, so we finally see this Lucian Nami go back on the offensive after what I would say, honestly, is a misengage here by Throttle. You're already winning the War of Longevity here. Lucian Nami not doing enough. They didn't! Throttle's the one that came into you guys. Give me that shit. Oh. Alright. There you go. Alright. But first turret goes over to the side of Caster Curse. I think one-handed has gotten first turret every single game he's played. Just messing with you. I'm being honest. And this is not the duo that you want to fight. One-handed, being able to ult Scrub Lord, and this Ivern is just going to basically make him Thanos now. So double kill going over to one-handed. Now you know who's doing enough is this Trundle right here. You know, one-handed again. Making stuff happen here in this top lane. Ain't this how the first game broke open? Like one-handed just randomly gets sick and tired of playing games and gets the top 2 turrets. So it is now 3 kills to 5. And they are now up 3,000 gold. So yet again, Boppet finds themselves on the back foot here. Something we just haven't seen all split as a team actually pressure Boppet. Can't give this dude Trundle. I mean, sounds like Souls is going to ask for a Trundle ban when that matchup comes up. See, the second dragon, though, coming over to the side of Boppet. One-handed sitting here in this brush here. Bird probably should bait the engage. There we go. And now one-handed. Hello, One Trick. It's the 1v1 from the ones. And Trundle ends up taking that. Croesus getting some damage on turret as well. This is So starting to break open here for Caster Curse. 3-1 on the Lucian, 4-0 on the Trundle. Get the gold on exactly who you need it to be on. Ult coming out from Honda Crasher though. Nice bubble coming out. Fear coming out from Christmas though. Bird absorbing that and getting shut down by Christmas music. So nice fear there to set up everything else. And one-handed just lawnmowering down these turrets now. And just walking away. Oh, nice shockwave coming out. One Trick Susan gets caught up in it. And so does Scrub Lord Ozai. So well played from the two solo laners there of Caster Curse. Does Whale do damage on the initial hit? It does not. It does DOT damage over time and then a big explosion, actually. So yeah, 29, or in this case, 29 magic damage per second. And then when it shatters, it does 473. So not on the initial latch on. No souls. Does not do damage on that. So curious to see the impact now that turrets are starting to fall here of this Ivern, Lucian, Nami like trio here. So one-handed kind of getting ran out here, but One Trick Susan's over here on the side. CS rated Dirk coming out of Honda. I'm going to assume that it is. I'm sorry. I'm going to assume that that Dirk is going to be a Serpent's Fang, which I think would be a massive pickup. Etrium getting caught out here. Nice tidal wave coming. Shockwave ends up taking on Throttle. And then Bubble ends up hitting on the one trick here, forcing her to flash. Honda getting caught out here. Etrium taking a lot of the brunt of the Hui damage and ends up getting shut down here by Christmas music. And one-handed. Oh, nice pillar there to catch out one trick. And then Scrub Lord also getting ran down. This is starting to break open very, very heavily in favor of Caster Curse. They're up now 6,000 gold pre-20 minutes, which is massive. I kind of got caught up in the builds here. What is this Sapphire Crystal? By Croesus here. Don't do the cardinal sin. Never build 2 Lost Chapter items. Rift Herald getting used bot side, probably using that as a distraction to go after the Otacon here. This will continue to snowball the game for the side of Caster Curse here. I love the positioning overall. I do want to see Daisy came out here just to be able to also front line, but Boppet not even really challenging this, going after this mid turret. Croesus is going to have to be careful here. It's going to be a sitting duck after this turret falls. Otacon taken by Caster Curse, and now they are looking on the dragon, so we're thinking Otacon Dragon for mid lane tier 1. I would take the 2 objectives every time for that. And that is the first dragon, Cloud Drake, going over to Caster Curse. do have Baron here in about 2.5. Another dragon here at 4 minutes. Let's see what Caster Curse wants to do as the setup coming into this. We see no armor or no MR coming out of Scrub Lord. It looks like, please quit building straight Thornmail. Get Bramble Vest and just sit on it. We'll see if Scrub Lord makes the Cardinal Sin. I love the Serpent's Fang coming out of Honda Crasher here. That is definitely a win for the shopkeeper. Oh, one trick getting pillared out again. Oh. Well, that could have been any worse time here for ads. So let me know again when we are back. Fortnite. Yeah, you know. Alright, we back? We back. Oh, and Alex hitting us with the Prime, our first subscriber since we have been monetized. I appreciate it. Alright, let's see how this setup's going to be. One-handed is getting buffed by pins. Oh, and one trick ends up getting pillared awkwardly as well. Throttle, though, getting gunned down by Lucian here. One trick also getting jumped on here. Honda stunning him up. Croesus TPing to this fight. Oh, look at the shields on this Lucian. Here's the part of the comp we were talking about. How Lucian loves these the shields and heals ever since the passive change. So ends up being a 1 for none here. One-handed gaming does go to the bot lane here. I think it's going to be much harder for him to create pressure into play. Croesus, though, here in the jungle, maybe trying to get a deep ward. I'm not 100% sure what the vision was there, but he ends up falling down here. Oh, we see Honda getting jumped on here from one-handed, flashed over. Red carpet's not going to do much here for Hui, and Honda Crasher ends up falling. And Etrium. Oh, okay, we did have a pause there. Luckily, replays, we don't have to sit through the pauses. See, Trundle's not a problem. No, Trundle's a big problem. And he's actually picking up some movement speed here with the Dead Man's Plate, so this is going to be a fast troll. just one fight alone, and Serpent's Fang's done 640. Etrium stealing this blue buff away. Blue buff is a major player for this Caster Curse team comp here. Fear going wide here. Honda could look to dive here with Toy's defensive tools already being used. But instead, he's just again going to lawnmower down this turret. One-handed though. Oh lord, look at this healing. What the what the hell is that? Oh, Throttle potentially getting jumped on here. Tidal Wave comes out. Honda, though, diving in here. Bird on the bottom side of this fight. Honda now turning up to him. It's now the bot lane against the world here. Christmas coming up. One-handed backed and then TPing to the fight. And that's all she wrote for Caster Curse in this team fight here. One-handed getting the pillar there to save pens. So big team fight turnaround for the side of Bobbit here. And they are now beelining towards this dragon, which this is going to put them on soul point here. So now that we've got a little bit of, I don't want. This has got to be one of the most annoying champions I ever play against if he gets ahead is this friggin' Trundle. This is kind of what we've been seeing out of One-Handed. There's a lot of these split pushers just mowing down turrets, but I feel like, though, he's, instead of all-inning on that strat here, he's playing around the team a lot more than he has been, which is really working out, especially for Big Bird's favor here. It allows him an extra few seconds to rotate through spells, auto attacks, and ultimately just adds a lot more consistent frontliner into him. And now we see One-Handed just starting to mow down Scrublord here. Scrublord onto items here. One-Handed did use the ult, but with that ult, Scrublord, though, loses even more resistances here. Honda had to come down. Nice pillar overall, and Lethal Tempo putting in a lot of work here. One-Handed says, okay, Scrublord, if you want to run, you're going to sacrifice your jungler. With the jungler being down, this is now a big opportunity for Caster Curse to start up this Baron. And Daisy trying to figure out if he wants to be part of the Baron or auto attack it. One-Handed just mowing down these turrets. Oh my god. Alright. One-Handed has to be a boss enjoyer. I'm just kind of sold on it. And I say that, oh, that was his first death. Oh, that was crazy. And now he picks up the Hull Breaker on that back, because, you know, he's not mowing turns quick enough. I'm not a big fan of the Hull Breaker, and I'm going to tell you why. There's 3 turrets left on the map. I don't think Hull Breaker gets the most amount of value here. I think it's useful for breaking tier 2 and tier 3s. But with only 3 turrets remaining, one of them being a tier 3 mid and the 2 Nexus turrets, I don't think the Hull Breaker has the greatest amount of value. But we do see 3 items completed on the Ivor, and the redemption is going to be pretty massive here. Bird looks like building towards the IE. Christmas Music sitting on 3 items and has the Oblivion Orb and a maxed out Dark Seal, by the way. Croesus still sitting on this Sapphire Crystal. I'm not sure where that comes into play, but completed the boots. We have full tier 4 boots onto everybody but one-handed gaming here. He enjoys the occasional AP Jax. You know what? Watching him play enough, that does not surprise me. It's AP Jax. Oh, Throttle! Using the Hextech Flash to get over. Now had to pop the ult. Nice dodge on the Nami ult. TP coming out from Scrublord here, so a couple of cooldowns burned. Dragon up in 40 seconds again. This is the kind of the pseudo hard part for Caster Curses ending this game just because of the Sivir wave clear and the Hui wave clear. Honda, though, getting jumped on by one-handed, but kind of getting pushed back there. Thought it was going to go too deep. This is kind of the area where you would want to fight. Honda's E is down here, flashes away, still gets taken out by the Trundle ult. Orianna ult gets no value here, but one-handed going after Scrublord here and slowly chopping him down. Bird's in the area as well, and he just flashes forward after one Trick Susan. And then we see Inhib getting taken down. Now it's going to end up being a 4v3. Christmas music missing the Hui ult here. So now this becomes a different part of the game with the Inhib down. Now you have to dedicate a wave clear bot against these super minions. Oh, one Trick just getting one shot by Bird here. And so, a couple kills and an Inhib going over to the side of Caster Curse here. But they're turning on to this dragon here. So, second dragon going over to Caster Curse unless Honda wants to try and ult in. He has no vision, so this would be totally blind. Oh, that was a fat W. What the hell? I see you guys in the cat. You guys are. Had evolved W. Yeah, that W did an insane amount of damage for not having a physical an AD ratio? Question mark? I don't think it does. No, it's just straight magic damage. You cheated. Yeah, you cheated by drafting a pure enchanter comp with Lucian, basically. But we've seen the okay, so we finally figured out what that Sapphire Crystal was for. It was for the Luden's Companion. Honda, though, getting caught out here. Pan's having a really nice tidal wave. Shurelia's getting popped here by Etrium. I think between Nami and Ivern, all of the support items have been built. By the way, 2 Shurelias, actually. So, very interesting to see where their builds go from here. I think they're just missing an Ardent Sensor. But we still see how difficult it is to crack this base with all the wave clear. Upgraded boots coming out for one-handed here. Really like the magic boots. I mean, you're going to pick up a lot of armor when you ult Scrub Lord. It's Cassante here. Now they're turning on Baron. Baron is definitely the one thing that they need to crack open this base. I feel like there's going to be an ad coming up here real soon. So let's see, one-handed now trying to split top. Siver's boomerang definitely having a lot more difficulty, but that combined with the red carpet, definitely difficult for them to wave clear. One-handed though, going after this top lane inhib and gets it pretty easily. And now looks like everybody's coming around to support one-handed in his split here. Big ult coming out on the throttle. One-handed frontlining all of this. Bird trying to do his best against Honda Crasher. And Bird and one-handed are down here, so this push fought back here by Bop It. And the two main carries that this comp is built around did fall. Serpent's Fang getting so much value in that fight. Oh lord, 2,000 shield cleaved already. So Bop It just making this more and more difficult. Completed Morello Nomicon for the side of Christmas music. Going to a pen item here. I'm still not a great big fan of the Croesus build here. There's really no one building MR but Cassante, and he has to deal with one-handed here, so essentially, you know, a pen burst build is a lot more valuable against the 4-man, the 4v4, but I can respect it. Has a lot of cooldown reduction. But we're going to see a fight over this dragon here. Etrium backing, I would say, just a little bit late, but the two air drakes might get him. Yeah, it's going to get him there. Lord, much quicker than I thought it would be. My apologies. There, one-handed, has his choice of inhibs that he wants to attack, but I think he's just going to try and put up the brick wall to access this dragon pit here. Dragon up in 3 seconds. Let's see how Bop It wants to approach this. Caster Curse has been early on the setups and making it very difficult for Bop It to enter areas around objectives in his mid and late games of both games 1 and 2 here. So now let's see what ends up happening. Nice smite here by Honda. Thank you, one-handed, for the leash. Alright, final buffs taken here. I think the jungle camps now get donated over to Bird just to try and complete this this last BF sword item here. Looks like they're trying to lay a trap for what I would have assumed to be one-handed, since he's been going through a lot of camps during the split. But he has a fully completed Blade of the Rune King now. Ads. Let me know we are back. Atrium getting jumped on here by Honda, but nothing comes of that. Both teams now on Soul Point here. 19 kills to 13. We see about a 6,000 gold lead in favor of Caster Curse. Croesus looks like it's close to completing the death cap now. Still got about 1,000 gold to go. Bird now on a fully completed Bloodthirster here. I'm not 100% sold on the BT just because they have already got anti-healing and anti-shielding. Oh, but Bird getting potentially jumped on here. Croesus. Okay, that's right. It's just a pause here. But one-handed getting jumped on here. We do see Bird in the area doing a lot of damage with the Lucian ult. Oh, big ult from Croesus in the back line here. And the front line kind of just gets mowed down here after Croesus forced the back line away. And this could be an end angle here for Caster Curse. Are they going to do something that no other team has done so far? This split and take a game off of Bop It, Twist It, Gank It. Oh, it's just so hard to fight all this wave clear with little to no engage. It looks like they're going after this Baron here. Oh, and Honda just getting jumped on here by one-handed. God, that slow is so oppressive. And he just solo kills Honda there. As he tried to walk in and look for a potential Baron steal, but the troll said nope. Death cap completed by Croesus, so the next shockwave is going to hurt. Full build here for Christmas. Full build here out of one trick. Here. No, I'm sorry, there is MR coming out of Scrub Lord finally. Full build out of Pens is Nami here again. Going the Vigilant Wardstone, something we don't see that often here. We're just going to see how these Baroned up super minions are going to be. This is now double supers coming here. Correct. I did not catch the Vandal Blast. Still, look at this wave clear coming out of Bop It. This is actually quite impressive. The waves were not totally in sync. Now we have top and mid basically in sync here. Bot lane not. Sivir broken, please nerf. Sivir plus Hui is hard to break. I think the big thing against Sivir is you gotta draft a lot of engage into her, and you guys did not have that, but they're just holding up this line here. And now we see bot and top kind of synchronized on the push here. Daisy coming in. We're starting to see this pressure eventually fall here. And now no turrets coming out. Bird mowing down Throttle. Anami ult comes through. Orianna ult comes through. Bird guns down Christmas here. And guns down one trick. And that is a game for Caster Curse. And another 40-minute banger. Pins having a very quiet 3-0-16 here. Christmas, though, the only death was that late game push here. So he is playing extremely well this series so far. Let's go over here to that. We're going to update here. And so we have a game 3 from Caster Curse and Bop It here. So let's look at the overview. Yeah, we've seen a little bit of an early lead coming out of Bop It here. 1500 at 9 minutes is a respectable lead, but then it became all Caster Curse right there. That bot lane fight is what ended up kind of breaking this game open. So, alright, we are going to take just a very small break. I'm going to use the restroom, and we will be back here for game 3. So, be back in like 2 minutes. 40 minutes, news a wave, clear the movie. That's clever. I like it. So, I'll be right back. Alright, guys, we are back. Sorry about that. We're gonna go over to the Game 3 draft here, which is interesting. Boppet, though, electing to take red side here. Caster Curse busting out the Amumu. Boppet Twisted, going with a very rock solid uh, bot lane here in the Zaya Rakan. Caster Curse, though, picking the Quirky, and something else that we haven't seen is one-handed on a dedicated tank. So no mowing down turrets this game. Excuse me. Bop it, though, counterpicking with the Mbessa. It's not really like the biggest counterpick, but she definitely can hit that mid-game spike super hard into tanks. We see, again, more mid-lane bands coming out. The Echo, the Asol, Victor, Aurora, Mel. And so then Bobbit ends up picking the Zac jungle here, which is a very slept on jungle pick, in my opinion. And overall, um, something I think that's very underrated. It's very slept on here. And then Caster Curse with the Yasuo Braum. So we see Bird not on another like lane dominant brawly type champion in the Corki. We see the Braum coming out. Braum Corki doesn't strike me as the greatest lane in the world. Corki doesn't have auto attack resets or anything like that to really proc the Braum passive super quick. He can, but again, it's not the quickest. But Braum, Yasuo, Corki, I feel like can proc it quite heavily. It does make itemizing a little bit simpler, and I don't. There's really nobody taking advantage of the Amumu passive, where he gives his team uh, more enhanced magic damage. So I'm very, very curious to see how this game ends up going here. And Yasuo and Ari, it's a pretty even matchup. Yasuo can bully out most mages, but Ari has no issue standing her ground at all here. And yeah, should not be too. It shouldn't be too bad. So go ahead and download the replay here. All right, I kind of clicked it before I said it, but we did run an ad just to hopefully get through this game here because it is getting late. So yeah, quite a interesting game here. Little different dynamic setup for Caster Curse here, having one-handed on a dedicated tank, and Croesus on an AD champ here.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
So looking at the runes and masteries, nothing really
30
stands
seconds until
out.
minions
Croesus
spawn.
with the ignite is interesting. Bird bringing the hail of blades, so he's wanting to proc this Braum passive like very quickly with his hail of blades. Interesting tech. I'm okay. I'm okay with this cook here. Oh, still looking at the draft. Ooh, shit. Alright, we kind of fucked that one up, didn't we, bud? We did not change scenes. Luckily, we did not get too far into this. Alright. My apologies. Let's see. Are we here? There we go. Thumbs up in the chat. We're good. Alright, I think we're good. Yep. Forgive me just this once. Yeah.
Minions have spawned.
Alright. I'll give you guys the controls next time. Let you have some fun with this. This is not as easy as it looks. Oh, I do think one thing that's interesting. Penn's electing to go to the Guardian instead of Spellbook. That's an interesting one. Here. Ooh, that Q would have been big. Proc the passive with the damage as well. Asymmetric clearing here by the junglers. Etrium going top to bot. Zach going bot to top. I think the last two games we've seen Honda Crusher path towards his bot lane to try and defend it here. But with the Zyrakan, I think he's wanting to put some focus in on top lane this time. Maybe catches catch Caster Curse by surprise here or something. Etrium, though, looking at a touch of an invade here. Just getting off some wards here early against the Zac. Don't necessarily hate that. Croesus getting some decent poke off here. Nice pullback here, though. Penn's putting up the wall in front here. Helps out that trade in the bot side. Etrium is down here. Honda looking at mid right now. One-handed, kind of holding a little bit of a freeze here against Scrub Lord. Is a little low on mana here. One wall coming out of Croesus. Blocking the Q return. A little bit of a predict there by Christmas. Thinking he's going to E forward. Now, I wouldn't mind seeing a And I need to spare first item from the Orin here versus 3 melee and pretty deep divers. So definitely get some value out of that. Etrium starting up this dragon super early. This is going to end up being a air drake, so gotta go fast here for the first drake taken. Gross is getting some decent trades here on the Christmas. Scrub Lord using a lot of Investor's mobility in these trades here. One-handed though, getting off quite a few grass procs. Oh, but one-handed. Oh, gets the first blood here and ends up trading it over to Honda. So really lucky for one-handed there that didn't get passed over the Scrub Lord. It was actually the Balmy Cinder from Zac that got the proc off and gave the kill over to him. Zac looking to gank Croesus here, but Etrium was on the side waiting for a counter. Pins having the flash here in the river. I was afraid of getting all in there by Throttle and Christmas. Big trades coming out of one-handed here. He does have the Balmy Cinder, so some of these trades are going to be very much in his favor here. And Bessa definitely more of a mid to late game spiking champion. One hand is starting to get the better part of a lot of these trades here. So gold is even here. Even is really good, I would say, for the Caster Chris squad, as they do have some scaling built into their comp, especially with the Orin items as well. But a little bit of a quieter early game compared to the games we've seen this series and in the Rec League in general. Pens and Bird, level 6 here. Pens could W to the minion and start a fight. But one trick and Throttle also level 6. So would have been traded ult for ult. We do see though, this is the best early game coming out of Etrium. He ends up picking up the Air Drake and all 3 grubs. So Caster Chris getting all the grubs at the same. Etrium though, coming up topside after that and ulting to get to help out one-handed with the kill there. Croesus is playing this lane pretty well, but Christmas keeping it just on edge. Seen a couple of pretty good charms overall. But we do see Honda Crasher here. Misses the Q though, so gank going a little short here by Zac. Nice sidestep from Pens. Heal coming out. Bird trying to give him someone the W2, but ends up unable to do that. Might have gotten interrupted during the W animation. Wasn't quite sure. But Bird gets out before he gets collected, and Pens gives one over back to Bop It. Bobbit getting set up here for this Earth Drake. It'll be the second Drake on the map. Looks like they're going to take it with pretty much no contestation. Well, they end up taking it, but here's Zac diving in here. Bird getting the stun off. Zac pass is going to get popped. Croesus, though, flashing in. Etrium going to go down. Christmas getting kited by Croesus. Bird ends up taking down one Trick, but one Trick in his dying breath with the pull back. Ends up getting one back onto Bird here, so... Croesus taking quite a bit of damage there. Charm going to the wayside here. Nice block coming out of Croesus. He has some lifesteal with the Vamp Scepter there, so he's going to be able to heal up in this lane. Ari does have TP on the back, probably full item as well. Croesus, though, getting jumped on by Honda here. Zac forcing him back here. I thought Zac could have went a little more all in there, but he did go the tank start instead of AP. AP Zac definitely would have killed there. So you generally either see Leandries or Proto Belt coming out on Zac. So we do see Leandries coming out from Etrium. Overall, like, only a slight CS lead from the bot side, which is going to slowly even up once this wave gets taken here. So, pretty even game state overall. Bobbit has a 1,000 gold lead. Just not the biggest lead here. Full items getting completed by most of the players now. We do see Croesus still finishing up his Blade of the Rune King. Does have full boots, which is almost full build for Yasuo here. Well, Christmas, though, in the back line here, ends up charming up Bird. Pen's trying to do his best, and there's a 4-man party here in the bot lane. And while this, Etrium is doing his best to attack the top side of the map, but ends up giving one back here to Scrublord. So Scrublord ends up going 1-for-1 here. Pence does get taken out with some chase from the Zac. One-handed, though, looks like he's going to get this top turret. That's feats of strength going over to the side of Caster Curse. So with bot turret going down, looks like the bot lane is going to shift to mid here. Bird's still picking up the wave. I would expect them to swap here real soon. Bird going with the Essence Reaver first here. Blade of the Rune King finally finished here from Croesus. We see a lighted jewel picked up here from Ari. think you need to build pen this early. Christmas getting all in here from Croesus, but Honda is in the area here. Yasuo did flash out of the back of the Dragon Pit. Infernal Drake getting started up here from Boppet. One-handed though, TPing in. Nice three-man pickup here from Thwardle. One-handed though. Oh, knock him up with the ult. And Honda gets taken into passive and then is going to get taken out from Bird. So Boppet starting up this dragon, but then getting jumped and collapsed on by the full Caster Curse lineup here. Scrublord did not have TP available for that startup here, so. Ads. No, I've seen ads, but maybe we just went through them. Hmm. Oh. Oh, we see One Trick having to burn the ult here. Etrium still has another Q. Oh, nice wall taken out by Pens, but Etrium's going so deep. And there's 4v3 here with Christmas getting an extra ult charge coming out. Bird, though, taking out the Zac, but then falling. And that's a triple kill, actually, over to One Trick Susan here. So, big pickup for Boppet here, given over all those kills to the late game's carry and One Trick Susan. One-handed getting jumped on here. He might be able to flat. He does flash the wall here, and Croesus is here as backup as well. So, well played from one-handed to get out of there and not give over his shutdown. With that triple kill going over to One Trick Susan, he now has his Navori Quick Blade, so he's permanently going to have W up in these team fights, which is big. Zac, though, rushing a boatload of armor, so did not even bother to go the AP the first item like Amumu did. Amumu, though, sitting on this Negatron cloak. So, looks like he's building towards potentially kinetic Rooker. No, not kinetic. Maybe Spirit Visage. Not sure. But we do see some setup around this Otacon getting started by Caster Curse. TP coming in from Scrub Lord, and Caster Curse's backline is already started on this one-handed, doing what he can to create some area. Bird, unfortunately, not hitting an out. One-handed, though, popping the ult, gets the double knock-up onto Susan. Bop it, though, jumping in here. Scrub Lord jumps in. Oh, and Zac returns the steal to Etrium from game 1 here. And now One Trick is just kind of free-fired here. Double kill going over to Zac. And what ended up being a Otacon started off by Caster Curse gave Boppet the opening to dive in. Remember, oh well, hold on. One-handed. Oh, he doesn't end up getting One Trick Susan here. This is going to end up being one-handed, eventually falling here. Nice charm by Christmas. And Honda gets that takedown as well. With Dragon coming up here in 10 seconds. Though, I will say one-handed wasted so much time for the side of Boppet that now it looks like Caster Curse has the tempo here for this Dragon. I honestly think Penzu wanted to let him back, because now it could potentially go for another steal or something of that sort. Nice knock up here. As Honda got his passive back up just in time to lose it. And Etrium ends up taking that. Needed to give that kill over the Bird, but that's fine. Bird, though, completing his IE here. Etrium pulling the trigger on the Thwartle, but he does have quite a few dashes to get out of it. So, all in all, decent trade. Otacon and some kills back over for a kill, and the Dragon. We do see Caster Curse on Soul Point here. I think the one thing that teams forget is Otacon lowers your armor and MR a lot. So if you're starting that up in the enemy's face, you have to have a really significant like front line to zone them away, or just straight up turn. Because if you try to play fight for fight, you have so few tanky stats compared to the other team. So Crit Bloom second from Christmas here is quite interesting. We've seen him buy that Blighted Jewel, and I wasn't 100% sure what it was going into. Krosa is playing as Yasuo very well into Christmas here. Though hasn't really been able to capitalize on a lot of the pressure, just because it is Ahri. She can just one-shot the wave. Krosa's getting chunked out here, but Blade of the Rune King will safely heal him up. Oh, big mistake coming out of the Caster Curse side. You gotta move your items to the one spot to get upgraded, and upgrading this Essence Reaver gives you ability haste, which you don't want. You want the flat AD coming out of Infinity Edge. So, but Caster Curse looking to dive Christmas here. And this is kind of a big mistake. Crosus, though, tanking turret, and Bird taking also some empowered turret shots. What a big mistake here from Caster Curse trying to dive Christmas here. It's an Ahri that still had some ult charges and a flash up. So a very, very mobile mage you're trying to dive here. And it looks like they're turning on this with Baron that just spawned at 25 minutes. This is not going to be the quickest Baron take in the world. And similar to Otacon, Baron does lower a lot of your tank stats. So Caster Curse has a chance of just walking towards it. Half done now. There's a world where Bird could just start to play the poke game a little bit with Ahri ult down. Could put a little pressure on there, but I understand he wants to play it safe and go after the mid lane minions and push those in to deny some resources there. So completely understandable. But one-handed ends up taking this turret right in Scriblord's face here. So, does he take turrets on every champion he plays? Pens, though, kind of solo defending this mid lane turret, but doing a really good job not letting the minions hit. Croesus jumping onto this topside turret. Turret merchant. Yeah, I like that. That's a pretty good nickname for him. One-handed, though, looks like he's getting potentially jumped on here. Dragon getting starting up by Bop It, though. Croesus is topside, solo pushing. Bird solo pushing the mid lane, so I think this is pretty smart from Caster Curse. You're not giving up anything really major. Get some turrets out of it. Croesus, though, continuing to push top here. One-handed getting jumped on by Honda Crasher. Bird not in the area, so there's no real damage to continue this fight. Etrium does get a good ult. One-handed, though, trying to make it work. Croesus trying to 2v1 topside and falls there. One Trick Susan, though, finally chops down this Forge God here in one-handed gaming. And again, this is kind of a little bit of a setback. You're picking fights that are not advantageous to you, and it's against Baron minions, so when you lose these fights, your losses are much heavier. Bird getting jumped on here by Honda. Nice Q, and the bot lane of Caster Curse ends up getting taken out. Is this a potential end angle here? Scrublord does have TP. And as back and forth as competitive as these games were, it looks like just Caster Curse kind of had a little bit of decision-making issues here in this third game, and got picked out. Croesus is here. Oh, his computer froze here. That's a feels bad. I don't think it matters though. As Bop It, though, in a 29-minute slugfest, take Game 3 here and take the series 2-1 over Caster Curse. So, what a very, very entertaining series overall. Caster Curse doing something that nobody else has done this split and taking a game off Bop It. And, for the most part, going blow for blow against them. So, I love what I see from both teams. Bop It still playing the way they do and building comps as consistently as they do. But Caster Curse definitely taking a lot from the loss against Capuchungus and taking a lot from it here and forcing Game 3 against Bop It. So, well done from both teams here. That is our last series for the Rec League for Week 3. We have good news is everything will be on the YouTube throughout the night. I will export them over there, and also now you've heard it first here, and I will make an announcement in the following day or two. Is Yanara is enabled for Week 4, so you will start to see Yanara And I'd be curious to see how teams build comps around here and how the ADCs look very proficient on her. So I can see a couple of ADCs gravitating towards her and playing her quite well. So for Pins, Astral, and everybody else that was in the chat, I think Souls was around here. Souls giving us our first sub after we got monetized. Much love for that. But yeah, thank you guys all for showing up here in this cast. And, we'll see you guys back over the weekend for some week 4 games. Till then, deuces.